people, my peeps. So I told you that I was going to come back and we were going to talk about things that are happening to some of you guys that you may not want to share as chosen ones, as targeted individuals. And I'll give you the title that you want to go by, that you feel most comfortable by. Now, we are in the last days, my people, my peeps. And I have stated this in videos before. If you go back into my archives, where when I was first awakened to what was going on, how I could feel spirits actually bump me, move me. It got to the point to where I could actually, I couldn't stand to go into certain places because the energy, the spirits that were in those facilities were so heavy, it almost took my breath away. It was as if I had to leave out of those facilities. And this even happened in a church. Because see, when you wake up, you start to run to what you think that is right. You think that something is terribly wrong, and I need to go back to what I knew was right before, if you weren't living a righteous life. Okay? I did the same thing. Ran to a church. And when I got there, the energy, the heaviness was so intense that I actually had to walk out of that church. My spiritual awakening has brought me to the point to where I can either see slits, total black eyes, or it's hard for me to explain the other type of eye that I can see within people. I can see it within photographs of people. And I believe this is happening more and more to people in the last days. And I don't want you to feel afraid or be labeled as crazy, because that's what the general society would have you be labeled as crazy, to keep this information suppressed. So this young lady is going to give her testimony about what she saw in the spirit realm. And we'll get deeper into this. Much love. Take a look at this video.
I was going to a church in God in Christ. Most of us who are religious know how they get down. I'm not going to go into detail about that in this video today. A lot of praise and worship going on. We were in praise and worship. Everybody's jumping up and down, doing their thing. I am in prayer, and I'm like, I got my eyes closed. I'm in prayer. I'm towards the back of the room because I was one of those who was always late. So I'm in the back of the room. I'm saying my prayer. Everybody else is in praise. I heard a voice tell me to open my eyes. Even though I've been through what I've been through since then, telling this story still makes my skin crawl. I want to remind you that, again, I've had the gift of sight since I was 4 years old. And what I saw in this church caused me to never set foot in another one again. When I opened my eyes, I saw a big figure that was transparent, but I saw them. It was big. It had wings. It was like a dragon. It looked like a dragon, and it was jumping from person to person. When it jumped on a person, they fell out like cold, just fell out on the ground. And then all the little church mothers and people would jump over there to them and cover them and pray over them and do their thing with them. And then when everybody would run over to that person, it would jump off of them and jump on another person. And they would fall out. And then everybody would get up and run over there to that person, start praying and praising. And then he would jump off of him and then run to another person. I stood there in complete shock watching this happen. Scared out of my mind. When I say, y'all, I was so afraid of what I was seeing, of what I was watching other people experience. It shook me to my core. Again, I've seen evil. I've seen people. I've seen things. I've seen the unseen. It had been a while at this time in my life. Again, I hadn't seen things like this since I was a little girl outside of the church. But to see it in the church, to see this happening to what I perceived as God's people, scared me. It made me feel like I had nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. I didn't know what to do. I felt powerless.